was in the early hours of Hluhluwe, to the sounds of feet walking up the road, together with the morning sun shining over the stable door, that I first stirred and gradually awakened to enjoy a cup of coffee which was brought to my rondavel. I remember that the police are employed for many duties and are made available as guides. Guides to spot the game, to tell you of their ways and habits. Guides for your safety. Safety, as movement and wind direction creates a keen response in the animal kingdom, their very existence often depending upon such detection. And if not respected when on foot, tragedy can befall the visitor accustomed only to the noise of traffic within city life, in comparison with the silence of nature. The guide approached my car in anticipation of an early departure, and having gathered our binoculars, books of reference and cameras, we were prepared for our journey. The first to greet us was the Ostrich. She was picking up pebbles, being used to help the digestion. This bird stands over 7 feet high, and when angry, hisses loudly, slashing with its feet, but is generally harmless, except while incubating its eggs. As we drive in leisurely fashion down the road, buffalo gaze at us, as if in curiosity, displaying that look of quiet calm, and yet with a distinctly menacing eye of candid courage. Mother and child in any degree stir the heart of nature, as we watch this youngster frolicking around in a strange new world, while the mother shakes her head as if in pride for all to see. Looking back, our eye was drawn to this warthog at the entrance of her den. The den is an old ant bear or porcupine hole into which it descends backwards, always ready with its tusks in defense. An old boar is recorded as a fair match for even a leopard in open fight, but when running away, that tail is always reaching for the sky. Of the rhinoceros, it has been written, his brain is small, his bulk immense, his sight is dim, his hearing tense, he's lacking most in common sense. The so-called white rhinoceros, a name given being a comparative gentleman, is really the square-lipped rhinoceros and 3 tons of armor-plated inch-thick hide. Rhinoceros signifies nose-horned, and against the single horn of the Indian type, the African variety has 2. The horn itself is agglutinated hair, very tough, with great lifting and penetrating strength, attached only to the skin and not to the skull. The square-lipped rhinoceros is a feeder of grass, whereas the black rhino is a browser, living on leafy shoots and twigs. They are conservative in habit, and where undisturbed, will always be found in approximately the same location. We continued to a waterhole not far distant, where Nyala were peacefully displaying that majesty of nature, the female being the smaller of the 2 and of a bright chestnut colour. The male, with his graceful legs and chestnut stockings, is greyish-brown, with about 12 more or less distinct stripes on the side of his body, the horns being present only in the male. Like the bushbuck, to which he is related, the Nyala is a secretive animal, but diurnal and gregarious in habit. Like all game, his approach to a waterhole is a matter of the utmost caution, for it is a likely place for enemies to await their prey. The sharp-pointed bill of this South African darter distinguishes it from the cormorant, usually referred to as the snake bird, the name being derived from the appearance of its long, slender neck. He seems somewhat agitated, and no wonder, as more important company appears. With the immediate tension caused by the arrival of a black rhinoceros having eased, and fortunately unaware of our presence due to his poor eyesight, the maximum caution must still be preserved, as change of breeze or movement can immediately release his inherent disagreeableness and turn him into a veritable fire-eater. The black rhinoceros is unmoved by the presence of Nyala and Warthog, but to Impala he has a distinct objection. The black rhinoceros is thoroughly erratic, and without provocation or urge of appetite, craves to spread destruction. At speeds of up to 45 miles per hour, it has been known to outdistance a horse in a 2-mile race. On the other hand, it can move so silently that it is beyond the range of the human ear. erect, listening for some telltale sound, although still wallowing in the mud, he is aware of our presence through some change in the breeze? Or has he just recognized the approach of other game undetected by ourselves, although standing but a few yards away? This apparent presence of instinct is often beyond human understanding. Having removed that itch from his nose, we realized that it was the giraffe which had called the rhino's attention. The giraffe's tongue is exceedingly long and ribbon-like and prehensile, well adapted for plucking leaves. When drinking, it must straddle its feet wide apart in order to get down to the water. We, being so interested in the giraffe, two rhino, one comparatively young, had approached the waterhole from the other side, observed by only our guide. The mother, although unaware of our presence, was nevertheless ill at ease and strained her senses in an effort to locate the cause of her feelings. Our guide, in fact, detected a slight change in the breeze to cause this uneasiness, and in a flash, with ears erect, the rhino stood up, taking stock of all about her, and angrily left the waterhole. But without the maximum care, this can happen. Not only the rhino that needs the respect of nature's moods, but also the weather. For it can happen within a few hours that the Hluhluwe River unfolds its temper among its banks to wash all before it. In reality, the water had subsided over 24 hours before any attempt was made to cross. From the waters of anger to the waters of pleasure. The rhino, as other creatures, enjoys a heritage of freedom, a freedom we have not the right to threaten. What right has man to disturb the breeze in the broad valley when his guns have already exterminated all but the few remaining in sanctuary? It is sanctuary such as this that gives us hope in a world that depends so much on its natural heritage.